What's up, world? This is Rob with LiveLOUD coming at you guys again with another episode of Say It Loud. Thank you guys for coming back to these interviews. As you guys know, the intention was to have 1 week's worth of people telling their stories, and that turned into a month. We took a little break, and now we're back. We're continuing more episodes of Say It Loud. And again, the intentionality of why I launched these videos, or why we do these stories, is so that we could really bridge the gap on what we're looking to create, an opportunity for us to share our experiences and what led us to this transformation, or what led us to these moments. And what's been really amazing that I got to connect with people that I met all around the world, that I've gotten to work with closely or just met casually, and being able to celebrate their story on how they utilized their experience, transformed it into something that they now use for some form of service through what they do. So today I have my guest, Virginia, who I met, I think this was maybe 6-7 years ago. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. And we met from this transformational program. And I've had the honor to really stay connected with her and see her transformation, see all the things that she's been putting out to the world. And it's just been a gift. So Virginia, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, thank you for inviting me. This is really awesome. Again, I'm so proud of you for everything that you have accomplished so far, and for doing this where the world needs it a lot, especially right now.
Thank you so much. So I know you've done a series of things in these last couple of years on how you create your impact, and also how you choose to live that and integrate it into your life. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself with who you are, what you do, and how that shows up for us.
Yeah, so my name is Virginia, and I'm a speaker. I have done international speaking before. I usually target millennial women. And I am also the founder of the Millennial Mindset panels. So these are panels that I have had all around the world to talk about important conversations that matter with millennials. It's something that I consider a sacred space because sometimes we don't know how to bring up conversations around mental health, around finances, around relationships that we have questions about, but sometimes they're taboo. So I created that space so that millennials can feel safe to come here and have authentic conversations around these things.
Yeah, I really love that too. I had the honor of being on one of your panels to get to speak at Millennial Mindset. And what I love about it is that it's not just people talking about what they're up to and necessarily how they achieved it, but it opens up the dialogue as millennials are stepping into the world and finding their place, not in this mechanical assigned position, but really taking innovation on how they want to relate to their reality, how they choose to live their life, and the impact and the ripple effect that they make. So to open up that dialogue and have all of us come together to really share that has been amazing. And I know you've been taking this around the world, right?
Yes. So last year I was on tour. I did 7 countries and 2 states. So LA, New York, and then 7 different countries. It was really amazing. Learning about people's cultures, people's backgrounds, the things that connect us the most. One of the things that I've learned, no matter where you're from, any country, we have things that matter to us. Is we want to be heard, we want to be seen, and we want to feel connected. That is the foundation thing that I've learned no matter where I've been. And I'm so much gratitude for the opportunity to meet all these people. I think a lot of people think, well, you're giving so much, thank you. And to me, it's total the opposite. I'm just you don't understand. You have made my life so much more enriching just by knowing you. And it's that deep gratitude of you're giving in the sense of receiving in return. In the giving, you receive. That's one of the things that I've learned, really when you're passionate about something, there is no work. And I think you can really have a testament to this, where when you're doing something you really love, it's time really stops when you do something you love.
Absolutely. And I love that you incorporate different cultural mindsets when it comes to this, right? So it's not necessarily just something that we're accustomed to, but meeting people where they're at and their realities and hearing their stories. There's so many times that I myself feel, and I still feel, that this journey becomes so individualistic that my own struggles, it's my mountain, it's my triumph, it's my success, it's my thing. When we could actually come together with our information, with our knowledge, and celebrate it together by hearing, how did it work for you? What things did you come across? And how can we utilize each other as our own guidance, our own compass, and celebrate and support each other in prevailing and taking the next steps forward?
One of the things that I want to add in there, because you're totally on point, is that we become as a society this norm that even in Barnes and Noble we have it, where it's like there's a section of self-help, and it's like self-help. It's like meaning you do it on your own, like you help yourself on your own, and it's that wording. It's almost a trigger for me because it's like, no, we don't get to do it on our own. We get to do it in community and by sharing and by connecting. And I think that that's the new paradigm that's being shifted right now. And even with this whole pandemic that we have going on, it's in community, in wanting to really express how we feel and being vulnerable enough and trusting enough that other people may feel the same way, can learn from you. So leaning in and doing that work, I think it's a new paradigm versus self-help and doing it on your own and reading the books and like, I got to do this and this on your own. It's more in sharing that we really heal ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of all of it, right? I think that it's coming together with community. I look at it as kind of the tribal days where we could sit around a fire and share each other's knowledge and experience and tell these stories that contribute to all of us. And at the same time, it requires you to step into yourself and have that silent space to meditate, to explore what's going on internally, for you to adjust your own internal moral compass rather than assigning it yet again to another external direction of what I should be, who I should be, how I should feel. Finding those answers or being in the wonder of it, right? Like there's so many times that we could look for the conclusion, what is the answer? But I think a lot of that we discover in just being in the wonder of exploring what that is internally. And then we take that information and we have the dialogue and we share it and we speak about it and we learn from each other. And it's this beautiful win-win that occurs. And I know that if I hear you, what you're saying is this win-win of being able to give that out and you receive so much more in return from this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with that. Isolation is absolutely necessary. Self-reflection is absolutely necessary to come back into the tribe, into the community and share like, hey, this is what's going on for me. And again, like being honest and sharing that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, and it's so great because now we're back with Say It Loud and we can't be in circles, not yet at least, where we're not coming together and sharing that time with each other. We have a lot of time to ourselves, and what we're doing with that time, hopefully we're spending it in a constructive way. Feed your soul, feed your heart. As we take those steps forward, I love that we could come together in a platform like this, or the platforms of your lives and your videos that you've been doing, so that way we could continue to come together, even if we're not physically in the same space. So Virginia, how did all this come about? Where did this desire to go and create that unity of information and inspire new ideas and thoughts, where did it all come from?
Yeah, so it all started back when I was in, I guess you would say college. I went to film school out here. I went to the New York Film Academy, but not the one in New York, here in Los Angeles. I had recently left the military. I was in the military for a couple of years and decided to go to school out here and follow film. And I did that. And an ex-boyfriend introduced me to this trainings. He said, I really think that you would benefit from these trainings. And I was super stubborn, thinking I know everything. I was like, no, thank you. That's a cult. That looks like, why is everybody wearing white? Everybody's like glassy eyes. Everybody's crying. I'm good. So for about like a year and a half, he would not push it, but he introduced me to people that had done the training. And I mean, there was something about their life that it was just like instant connection with these people, and they never pushed it upon me, but they were just so welcoming. And I've never experienced that at that level. And so I finally did the leadership course, and it literally changed my life. And what I mean by that is that before the leadership course, I was so closed off, especially with my relationship with men. I had and I never spoke about this. I didn't even know it was a thing. I wasn't even self-aware that it was a thing, right? And so I had this story running in my head that men can't be trusted. Men are, cheaters. Men are these negative stories, the most horrible things. And it would affect every relationship that I had with men. And this came back, it was through the the relationship course, the whole leadership course that I did, I came back and I learned that it was because of my relationship with my dad that this all really came about. And I had to really do a lot of deep healing when it came to that. And I had to go back there and, and see what is this triggering for me? And, to be quite honest, like with my dad, I didn't have a great relationship. I am adopted. And so this person, my paternal father, he left my life even before I was born. So I didn't know him any of my life. So that trauma, and I think this is so important to talk about, that we think that kids don't know, but it's ingrained in us. We know, we feel it. And so I had to like really go through all that trauma, really do the work on myself and like cry it out and, journal a lot and be honest with myself with how I was feeling and learn about boundaries, learn about things that I have tools in my tool case to use on myself so that I won't continue projecting these stories on men. And I think that was like just one of the biggest pillars that really transformed my life. But there's definitely many, many more. And so after I did the trainings, I went back like a bajillion times to coach other people going through the training because I believed in it so much. I truly, not because because we don't get paid. Like if you go back and serve, like you're not getting paid at all. So it wasn't anything about money, but it was because I truly feel the transformation that happened in my life. And I truly saw the before and after. And I wanted that for everyone. Like I didn't want to be selfish and like, this is mine, like I don't want anybody else to know. Like I was like, no, please, like everyone needs to go through this. So one of the things that I've noticed, I say all of that because one of the things that I've noticed is that some people weren't ready to take these trainings. Some people were not in the space of learning about that. And I think it has to do a lot that sometimes we get so comfortable, and this may bring up some stuff for some people, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's my truth. Sometimes we get so comfortable in our trauma and that we don't know who we are without the trauma. And it's fucking scary. And it's scary as fuck to not know who we are without the trauma. So we stay in our trauma and pretend like it's okay to feel this way, and we self-loathe and we self-pity so much. And I get it. And I can see why the fear is there. No judgment, right? But I can see why it's inflicted in there. So I decided to create the Millennial Mindset because I wanted people my age to have that experience. And I necessarily brought it to different countries like Brazil, because I knew that some people are not in the conditions to pay for $1,000 trainings or $500. And so to me, it was more about, I want to have authentic conversations about what's really going on, because doing the trainings, I felt like I was putting on a mask for so long, for so many years, pretending that I was okay and pretending I knew myself and pretending that the trauma was okay and just saying that's just who I am or things are never going to change. That I was just sick and tired of my own shit. I don't know if I can curse, but
do it.
I was just sick and tired of my own shit after a while. And I was like, yo, like, are you into growth or you're not? Like, let's keep it real. You can't have both. You can't have your trauma and your shit and like growth. So it's either or. So I was like, all right, I'm about growth. So then I definitely was like, yo, I'm bringing this to as many people as I can. I brought in like anything from psychologists, anything from finances, anything from mental health advocates. I mean, any topic that we consider taboo in our community, like I was just like, yo, who can I find that is doing this right now?
Yep.
Who is volunteering this time? And let's talk about this, because this gets to stop here. And I think we all have that skill, that leadership in us. And sometimes we think like, oh, it's the other person, or I'm not really like that to speak about that, or who am I to bring a movement like that? And it's like, who are you not to? You know, it's like that Marianne Williamson quote. I don't know the whole thing, but it's like our deepest fear is that we are not, I don't know the whole thing, but that quote, look it up. Yeah. It's just like, oh my God. It's just like, yo, it's like, oh my God, like, who are you not to? Like, I'm almost offended if someone doesn't speak their truth, it's like, how are you robbing me right now from like learning something?
Yes.
Even if you don't have a master's degree, even if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you have experience.
Yes.
If you are like even 7 years old, like you can learn from 7-year-olds, like you have experience. And if you're humble enough to put the ego down and learn and be able to lean in and listen, that's where the growth work is at. And I think that for me, that was huge. And, you know, that's one of the main reasons why I created the movement. I was like, yo, we get to talk about real shit. That's it.
I love that for multiple levels. There are two things that pop up, and I'm getting afraid that one of them is going to hop out of my mind. But as you're talking about getting into transformational work, the same thing, because we met at the same program, right? This was years in between, but when I walked into that, it took me almost a year, probably 10 months of, no, I'm fine. I don't need a program, because I associated it with, I need help in my life, and I don't need help. I'm fine, right? And that was my mindset before. I'm fine. I have a good head on my shoulders. I'm about my business. I'm about my family. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I practice healthy habits. Not to say that I'm perfect. Of course, you know, we all have our flaws, but I felt really sound in my connection with myself. So I don't need something like this. And it wasn't until I went into there and I started seeing what my second point is, how comfortable I was in my trauma, how much I've accepted my burdens or my lessons of tainted perspective that don't necessarily project the positive healing opportunity that life provides for us, but more so repeating the history of what I know to be real. So as you didn't trust men, I didn't trust people. It wasn't until I did my training that I told my best friend at the time, 13 years into knowing him, was the first time I told him I trusted him. Imagine that I didn't trust anyone around me, because what life has taught me, or the way I interpreted the lesson, is that you can't count on anyone. If you can't count on your mom or your dad to be real because the story is still not aligned, or because of this hardship or broken hearts or whatever it is that stimulated that lesson, now I'm projecting it outside of me, and I learned to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And when I learned to be okay with that, I didn't notice that I put such a barrier on the possibilities I was able to experience in my life, until I started asking those questions, open my mind to doing the work, to not necessarily saying something is wrong here. Because when you ask people, how are they doing? What are they saying? I'm fine.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Right? And there's just kind of an automatic reaction, because we don't really talk about my frustration, my pain, my fear, my struggles, like what my obstacles. We don't talk about that stuff. So often we just go back to I'm fine. And then into doing work, I realized that I don't want to be fine. I want to be extraordinary. I want to be fantastic. And now that I've learned tools to acquire that, it's my mission to disrupt and awaken as many people as possible through this work that we're doing. And I really love that you found, or you're finding up until now, your way to contribute that, because I'm sure you're far from done, and it will evolve into God knows what, but that's really, really amazing. So what is your vision for this work that you're doing, in the way that you're working with people to stimulate this conversation?
So right now, since like the whole pandemic situation, everything has been online for me. I'm doing a lot of YouTube videos, getting invited to a lot of summits. And I just recently wrote an ebook around authenticity, which is on my website right now for anyone that's interested. And I did that because like you said, like I want to continue the movement, but still in the paradigm that I have, right? I suppose my mission is to let other millennial women, especially, like, yo, you're worth it. You're worth having that dream life. Like, put the shit down. Like, isn't that heavy already? Aren't you tired with all the trauma? Like, you're worth it. That's it. Like, if I have to put it in one sentence, millennial women, you are worth it, period. Just because you were born, like, not for any other reason, that's it.
Yeah. And again, also piggybacking on what you said before, as far as like expertise, we all have our gifts to offer. We all have our lessons and things and that we've learned through experience. I was watching this video yesterday, actually, that says that we could take our lessons that we Maybe it's our hardship that we climbed out of. And now that could be part of our mastery. You know, how many people are dealing with that same situation right at this moment that you have the ingredients and keys or practices that could support, alleviate, and pivoting to a new possibility. And it's, again, like you said, it's our responsibility to radiate that out. It dies within us, right? If we're just keeping it to ourselves, it will be going and forgotten as we adapt and adjust back into life. But to teach it, to share that information is so crucial to expanding ourselves and to open up what could be next. Really love that. So Virginia, for the people who are at home right now, who are still in that process of redefining or in the process of spending time with themselves, and what would be your suggestion? And it could be to the millennial women, or it could be to whoever you want to be. What would be your message that you want to send out to people of what they could be practicing right now in this time?
I would say try everything, because you don't know what you like until you try it, right? And for me, that's what worked. And if I wouldn't have said yes to this training, for example, the possibility, my life would, 100% sure my life would be in a total different tracks right now. So I would say yes as much as you can to opportunities and possibilities, because you don't know what's on the other side. I would just say yes to. And even if you think you kind of like it, but you don't, I would say yes to it, because you just never know what it is, and you won't know until you try it. It's like, you know, you're lying, like, you don't know until you try it. Like your mom would say that all the time. You don't know until you try it. Like if you really like something. And I think that's my theory for it.
Yeah, I think that's solid. I think right now it's such an awesome time to explore that. As we're redefining, we're finding out what to do with cash flow. For some people, this is a really serious situation. For some people, that business has stopped, cash flow has stopped, and they're in that necessity. So aside from taking care of your health, taking care of your reality to make sure you're doing it responsibly, take that bandwidth, that little extra that you have. It could be even 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, and dedicate it towards something, exploring what you might be curious or interested about. Not for the sake of it must be something, but in exploring and honoring that truth, however big it is in us, I think it gives us so much permission to really give birth to a new opportunity and a new possibility of what you might love doing into a possible shift in career. Who knows? But just explore and play around with that. And another thing, Virginia, that I take away from you is come together with community. Go ask questions. Go connect.
Oh my God, yes. Community is my life. Like, seriously, it has been a game changer for me, because most of my life, like, I've been doing by myself. And, you know, like, very similar to your story, where I'm just like, I don't trust anybody. If you want it done correctly, do it yourself. I'm huge on that, especially entrepreneurs. Like, we're like, yo, like, no, this is my baby. I want to take care of my baby in your business. And you want everything done as well as it can be, right?
I know that the game only gets as big as I am if I just restrict it to the tools that I have to play with. And when I open the doors to connection, community, contribution, working with people, learning from people, serving other people, I just bombard myself with all these other levels of tools on how could I apply it in my life. And the growth from there is exponential. I love it. So Virginia, where can people follow your work, see what you're doing, and just jump on the news on all the stuff that you're offering?
Yeah, thank you. So like I said before, I have an ebook right now for millennials. It's called 5-Step Guide to Living Authentically, and it's on my website. So you can go to virginialugo.com, and my Instagram, my Facebook handles, they're all there. You can learn more about me and the movement that I've created. There's pictures, videos, all that in there. And also my Instagram, you know, the Virginia Lugo, and my YouTube that I'm doing 3 videos a week around topics like this, the Virginia Lugo as well. You can find me there. But everything is on my website.
Beautiful. Awesome. All right, guys. So for everyone listening in, if you guys feel called, if something is really speaking to you here and you want to explore, you want to meet and hear from other amazing people, Virginia has such a solid community of people that she's been coming together with to really radiate that out. And it doesn't matter where you are, she can get to you. And she knows people that are going to expand into different communities. And sky's the limit. You know, we are far from done.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great. And I'm in love with the movement that you're creating here. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. So for everyone listening, stay tuned to more episodes of Say It Loud. We will be coming every week, Monday at 1 p.m. Check it out for more interesting, amazing people around the world doing such amazing things for the community. And we will be checking you guys very soon. Much love.